Hi, everybody. Russ on the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well this fine Thursday. Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. God, forget the check of the days now. I'm all locked in, it seems. Thursday evening. Hope you're all safe and well. Or Thursday afternoon in the US. Or Friday morning in the other side, in the East. In the East, Thailand, Australia, New Zealand. Hope you're all safe and well. If you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. Where the hell have you been? As we try and do on a Thursday, it's Russie's Rumour Show. It's Russie's Rumour Show. I think that's what we should call it now. What we try and do is on a Thursday, we give you a bit of a roundup of some of the transfers that have happened or transfer news affecting West Ham that have happened in the last sort of 3 or 4 days. Still, there's a big thing on Monday as part of the West Ham Weekly with lots of lots of stats and stuff like that. I just give you like scattergun. This is all that's happened. Saves you guys having to do it. Now we know that most of these are going to be bollocks, but it's interesting. We all have a transfer rumor. We can dream. We can think what might happen, which never does. And then we'll talk a little bit about we're almost halfway through the transfer window at the moment. A lot of we haven't signed anyone, but I've put together a little slide which I think sort of makes things a little bit easier on the eye when we see where we are at the moment compared to everyone else. I think particularly Newcastle. Christ, money to burn it seems. Right, let's see who we've got in the chat. We've got Neil. Good evening, mate. Pat, firstly, second on my thing. But anyway, I hope you're well, Pat. Andy, hope you're well, my friend. Beanie, good afternoon, good evening to you. Kimbo, hope you're well. Black Country, hello again. Evening, Howard. Evening, Frano. Semigo, hope you well. On time, not still, obviously. I turn up to do shows. That's old still. Lingard with a nice bonus, possibly Nilty. Marcus, hope you're well. Martin, hope you're well. Richard, hope you're well. Hi, Billy Bob. I'll be happy with Barbosa and Tarkowski. That'd be nice. And I was talking to a chap today who does a school run with me, and not with me, but we sort of bump into each other. I think that Chris Wood's going to Newcastle. To me, Kai Bosch is Tarkowski coming to us, because Burnley aren't going to fuck themselves up on both sides, are they? In terms of attacking and defence for 35 million quid or whatever. That's the way it is. James, hope you're well. Good evening. Scott, check on Chef Kimbo. Good evening to you. Marcus, good evening to you. Need Operation Barbosa and a defender. So what we do is, as I said, look, I've got my scripts. I actually put a script together for this. And so, yes, so what we do is, for anyone new to what we do on the transfer show, is basically we go through all the rumours that happened in the last few days, and I give you my Rusty rumour rating, the original rumour rating. Enough of that Claret and Hugh copying my ideas. So there we go. I saw someone on Facebook moaning about your mute. Is that about my music? Unbelievable. People complain about anything, innit? And then it's funny because then I get loads of messages saying, "Oh, I love to play with Chris Jericho songs and brilliant. Oh, none of that club rubbish." Just like, make your mind up, peeps. You can't please some people. 2 out of 3 of the championship would be good enough if we buy someone that would love Lingard. We'll see. I know your school run takes about 5. How do you know, Martin? That's ridiculous. You following me? Right. So let's crack on. Now, some of these still would have mentioned on the weekly show. There might have been some updates, and so this isn't everyone we're linked with. We're linked. I've been together. I think we're about 70 odd players we've been linked with. But what it is, it's the ones where there's been some news in the last sort of few days. Good afternoon, good evening, rather, Helen. Hope you're well too, my ladders. Right, let's share the old screen. We're going to start with this gentleman. Where is he? There he is. No, let's go little. He can be little. Benoît Badiashile. Benoît. We'll call him Benoît. It's probably Benoît, isn't it? Benoît is French. Here, the Monaco centre back. Now, apparently, he is our number one target. You'll hear that quite a bit today. He is our number one target, says David Moyes, according to a report from Foot. Now, every time I say it, it sounds Japanese. Foot Mercato. It sounds even more Japanese, doesn't it, when I say it? But it claims that Moyes is very keen to bring the top-class centre-back into London Stadium this month rather. 20-year-old he is. And he claims that we are on the hottest track, whatever that means. It must be something in translation. Sensational footballer, says the report. 6'4", big lad, dominant in the air, a proper footballer, says the report, and a huge talent. Currently at Monaco and Ligue 1. But obviously the next stage for him would be to go into the Premier League. He is a priority transfer target for us, it says. And apparently Wolves already lodged a £25 million bid for him. So we have to act fast. His stats are very impressive. He comes into his own when it comes to technique, composure, ability in the ball. He has, I think he's, by the sounds of it, he's got it all. 88% pass success rate, pass completion rate, which isn't bad. Renowned for making line breaking, progressive passing. We like those words through the centre of the opposition's midfield, and he's absolutely brilliant at beating the press. There we go. I mean, if we're looking for sell-on value, this guy's going to cost you 25 to 30 million quid. He's 20. Who knows? 3-4 years, he could be double that, 3 times that, innit? If it goes the trajectory of how it looks like we're going with this lad. So, I mean, this guy, what we got here, Badiashile, yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's here indeed. He's a beast. Him and Zuma. I mean, 6'4", big boy. And what's interesting is we titled the show Allez le Bleu, Moyes' French fancies. There's a lot of Ligue 1 players that we've been linked to recently, and whether it is, and some are French, some obviously not French, but there is a lot of Ligue 1 players we are being linked to at the moment. I don't think it's bad as shit. I think he'll be all right, Pat. There we go. Looks promising, I have to admit, even though I'd prefer his stats are better. Slightly different positions, and we'll come to Boubacar in a minute, actually. But as you know, we have the patent pending Rusty rumour rating. And so I put him down as a 2.5, because I mean I can see it happening, but it seems I just don't know. He's untested for my liking in the Premier League. He's definitely got the physical attributes, and that's what I was saying to the gentleman today. It was like saying, with Zuma back, I could see Zuma and Diop being the two going forward. Maybe Dawson coming in, so maybe it is about getting someone in rather than a finished article, someone with some potential, with some sell-on value as well, potentially further down the line. But that's my opinion. No, he's a centre back. He plays in multiple positions. Didn't we say the same? We did say the same about Diop. We certainly did. Hopefully, we can start with getting to beat that Murdoch press. Very good. Scottish and French are old allies. Can you see why he's looking at the French league? Vinay, you found it. You found the reason. There we go. So that's I think we've got 17 players to get through. And then we'll move on to Boubacar. Boubacar Kamara, we've mentioned him before. I like this guy. Apparently, we are in pole position. He's our number one transfer priority as well, apparently, according to The Sun. 22-year-old, he's come through the ranks from Marseille. He's played a pivotal part of the setup for Les Olympiens. He's made 144 appearances to date. So very similar to Mr. Declan Rice, in my opinion. He's had the captaincy for Marseille this year as well. And so, that's a tick on the old Moyes MOT test. His contract expires at the end of this year, at the end of the summer. So for me, I don't necessarily see him coming in for January, but I could see him coming in the summer potentially. He's not just a good tackler. He's excellent passing. He starts attacks. He's quite strong in the air as well. And what's quite interesting is similar path. And as you just mentioned, he plays more sort of CDM role now, more DM. But he started off as a centre back. And again, there's a lot of parallels with Declan Rice. Now, I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying nothing at all. But he could come in. I think don't forget the end of the summer, end of this season. Mark's gone. Kral's coming in. He could come in as the third man, and be competing with Souček for that second spot. I like this boy. I like him. I've given him a three because I can see a lot of other clubs coming in for him. As I said, a report today from Corriere dello Sport, which was today, so we're in pole position along with Newcastle. That's unusual. I think there's good potential with this guy. I really do. What we got here, I remember the great and impressive French signing Graham was making about 10 years ago. He got some gems, does a good job when he doesn't have to cover massive work. I think Diop with Zuma, you'll see a different player. And we know, same as Dawson. Dawson and Zuma together. Dawson's a different player. Would really like Kamara at West Ham. He's a very good player, much better than Kletekar. Different type of player. Kletekar is more of a he's a centre back now, where Kamara is more of a CDM role now. Does anyone know how long a contract is? No, I don't. Zakari free in the summer. He is. There's loads. We did a whole thing a few weeks ago. You'll go back and look at the thumbnail. It was a picture of Moyes as Del Boy. There's some great things in there. We have to stick a massive bite for Eddie. Yeah, I totally agree. Like this guy in the free in the summer. I think so. I could see him coming in the summer, definitely. Because we'll be needing some CDM roles, if anything. So that's our second League R player. Let's move on to another centre back, Nayef Aguerd. Apparently, he's our top target as well, according to L'Equipe. The Rennes centre back, but we actually put a bid in for him. I remember, or we were interested in him in the summer, and the ironic thing was, I think a few weeks ago, his agent came out and basically said that Rennes were never going to sell him to anyone, but we went with it and got him a new contract. So, fair play. He's apparently we're turning our hands to looking at the 10 capped Morocco international. He's firmly in our radar, according to L'Equipe. 25-year-old centre back, highly regarded in France, has had an excellent start to the season in Ligue 1. He's got 90% completion rate on passing, wins a lot of aerial duels, 73 passes per game he averages, and he's 6'2", very good in the air, an impressive reader of the game. We like that. The 25-year-old proved just how good he was when in November he put in a fabulous display against PSG, keeping the likes of Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar. But can he cope with Chris Woods and Callum Wilson? That's the question. Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar quiet in a 2-0 win for Rennes. One question, and this is one I had. Doesn't look like a bit of a doesn't have that physical. Yeah, doesn't seem like a bit of a. Whereas Benoît, for example, or Bremer, or loads of have a bit about him physically. He might struggle maybe with the physicality of the Premier League. If you're up against Tim Krul and you're going to get, RKO'd and headbutted and headlocked into the goal area, how's he going to survive? I mean, he's around for apparently 17 million quid according to GFFN. I don't think it's a bad shout. I don't think it's a bad shout by all because, but I've put him for a 3 as well because I can see this because he's 25. He's a little bit longer and he's a bit cheaper as well. But I could see this. I could see someone like him coming in, and then maybe Kamara on loan. Kamara in the summer. I could see that sort of happening, but we'll see. Could be good signing. Rennes like the French Leicester. Yeah, no, I think Rennes are doing very well this season. You like that one? Very good. No, thanks. Philip's all above him. Fair enough, Mark. Fair enough. What we got? Martin, we're out for a month. So check out. Is it now or never for Krav? Never. I think it's never. Let's be honest. But we never know. Strange things happen at sea. We'll see what happens against Leeds, isn't it? Right, let's move on. Another French player. Not French. Well, he plays in the French player. He's not Senegalese, but Abdou Diallo. A lot of press about him at potentially coming to West Ham in the transfer window. The Paris Saint-Germain defender. He could do a job according to L'Equipe. Again, you reckon the Hammers are eyeing up a January swoop for him, and I think he could be a good shout. He's Senegalese international. They actually bought him from Borussia Dortmund. I don't know if you remember. Some of you may know he played for Borussia Dortmund. They signed him 2019 for 20 25, 26 million quid, something like 30 odd million euro. So a lot of money. He hasn't made loads of appearances. He's made 9 appearances so far this season, and he's rapid. He's very, very quick as well. In 2 Champions League games for PSG, he's clocked speeds of over 30.3 kilometers per hour. 1.21 gigawatts, 88 miles an hour, 33 kilometers per hour. There we go. He's very apt at winning the ball back in possession, averages 7.5 ball recoveries per game. He seems to have everything that West Ham need, and I think the talk is a loan deal, and I think that could be very useful. Maybe a loan, a view to a buy maybe in the summer, particularly with Cresswell just coming back from injury. He's a left back predominantly, but he has played left centre back as well. I think he could be, and definitely, obviously, you can, at 25, you can see why maybe we had a little dabble at Digne, but he was 28, 29. This one's 20. Diallo's 29, 25, and I think there's a bit more potential there as well. So I can see this one happening. I put it down as 3.5. I put it down as 3.5. 3.5. Yeah, 3.5. I think this one could have some legs. Diallo could both see would work for getting him more minutes when. Oggie's not coming. Oggie's not be back this season, mate. Oggie ain't be back this season, but I think he could really help. Moyes likes players who are adaptable as well. And would I rather have Masuaku playing as my second left back or my wing back, or this lad? I think I'd rather have this lad. And then if someone gets injured, he can drop back into centre back. He could drop back into CDM. I think could be good. He would have played with Areola as well in PSG. So yeah, and so I think this one could have legs. I can see that one. That's why I put 3.5. Another PSG player, Kurzawa. It's moved a bit more information according to the French media outlet Foot Mercato as well, the famous Japanese outlet. It seems when I talk about it. Apparently, we've allegedly made contact to sign him with PSG. He's firmly on our radar. It's not a number 1 target, but firmly on our radar according to the reports. He's surplus to requirements at the Parc des Princes and could be London Stadium bound. ESPN reckon that PSG are looking for around 8 million quid for him. A decent value for an international player. 29, 8 million quid, better than paying God knows how much they paid for Digne, 25 million quid that Aston Villa played him. He's played at the highest level. He's played Champions League as well. He's played at international tournaments, attacking fullback, decent defender as well. There are red flags. There are some red flags in terms of his personality, disciplinary problems. And I was thinking about that today and thinking about the Moyes MOT test and things like that. And then I think about Arnautovic. Probably, I know he didn't sign Arnautovic, but he'd obviously come into a side where Arnautovic was there. He was floundering. And then he transformed into arguably the best. I know this is my opinion, but I know Antonio obviously scored his top Premier League goal scorer. But I think Arnautovic, a 2018, 2019 Arnautovic was by far the most suited person to the Moyes setup. He really had. I think he really obviously he really had everything. And then when obviously things turned a bit sour, he got rid of him. So I think an arm around him may make a difference. In the end of the day, you don't earn 13 caps for France for being shit, do you? To be honest, perhaps Moyes would like the challenge of getting the best out of him as well. For 8 million quid, it's I should have finished my script. You need to look no further than the work he did with Arnautovic. I know that was. He might not be everyone's cup of tea, but he was Masuaku. We certainly would provide adequate cover and competition for Cresswell and would be an upgrade to Masuaku himself. 8 million quid for 29-year-old seems a good value to me. And again, there's a slight question on his personality, but I think for 8 million quid, come on. I think, put him as a 2 because, he's 29. That always denotes a certain in my book. But for 8 million quid, I could see That may be having some legs. What we've got here, Masuaku to be transferred to the canteen. If we can get him out this window, I'm impressed with these transfer. Thank you very much. There will be a perfect signing, great long-term signing. Do you really expect to come back? No, not at all, not at all. And I think, in essence, Oggy to me is going to come back as backup, or as one of our Champions League centre backs. That's what I think will happen. And the person we get in now is to me, it's either going to be Diop's the long-term successor, as that left-sided player with Zuma for many years to come. Maybe Variola is in that French triangle, or someone like a Diallo or Benu or someone like that coming in as that sort of mainstay, and they having that long relationship together, plus Ben Johnson on the right, and then maybe Diallo on the left, or maybe Longelo on the left. Don't forget, we've got loads of under-23s as well. I mean, Zuma back apparently he's back, potentially back for he's on the grass, I've heard. But and I think, Man United is when they're being is the game. I think they remarked him. Stratford, Saint-Germain. It rolls off the tongue perfectly. What we got here? Do we really Lingard move behind us even in the summer? Do you know what, Richard? I would. To be honest, I would not close the door, but I would move on and see what else, because I don't want to be spending the whole summer, the whole January, thinking, we're going to get Lingard, and there's some good players that we have been linked with. If it's true, it's another thing, but I don't want them falling through our fingers, and then we come back, and then Jesse comes back, and he's not the same Jesse. A year's happened. So we'll see. I'd play for Masuaku's plane ticket. I think you and Stell would be. 8 million quid. That's less than a Hugo. 8/10 of a Hugo. It's only 8/10 of a Hugo. Marco was a bad boy. Was bad boy club. He was. And Moyes got a tune out of him. If Moyes had time and paid attention to all the trends, I'd say he'd be lasting his head off. Indeed. We're talking about Barbosa in a minute, actually. Towards the end, get Costa in on loan from Atletico, and Jovic on loan to the summer. Then look for a super striker. We never get a striker, are we? Thing is, Messi is actually pretty good going forward, which he has a natural position. Just the same, he ain't got the crossing, can he? Can he do it on a cold Tuesday in Stoke? That's the question. Would you put your money on signing anyone who goes straight into the first team? I think if we are serious, we need at least two. I think. That's a really good question, Pete. I reckon I can see definitely one going in to improve the first. I think it's a building process as well. It's a long-term building process as well. And there's a few of these leads, these rumours where they're not going to come in and be instant first teamers. I mean, really, obviously, we signed Anthony Marshall from Linfield. In essence, for the development squad, he scored in his debut. I think you'll see a lot of them as well, because apparently we've got three on loan. We've got Leon Boyd, who's also from Linfield, who we spoke about with George McCartney the other day, and also there's a Chelsea lad and an Arsenal lad as well, and there's a couple in here as well who I don't think would go in at the first team. Masuaku made a positive, not Yara, but Masuaku did. Would rather sign a backup for Bowen than go for Lingard. Never thought I'd say that 6 months ago. Indeed. The interesting thing was, I can't remember where I heard it from, but someone made a really good point. And I tell you what, I'm going to star that. Let's star that. We'll come back to that point, because I'll show you, for anyone who did the lunchtime show, I'll show you some heat map stuff, and I'll show some more stuff of that, because it's really interesting. And I think it could maybe give us a slight hint in terms of Moyes' thinking, potentially, but obviously we're just thinking completely out of the box here. Next one, let's move on. I want to get through all these first. Another player from Ligue 1, Aleksandr Golovin. Aleksandr Golovin? Yeah, that'll do. Aleksandr Golovin from Monaco. Apparently, we could be making a move for Aleksandr Golovin from Monaco this month, according to a report from RB Sport. Rustbun Sport. I do make it RB Sport, wherever that is. The 25-year-old is an attacking midfielder by trade and is most comfortable when operating in a number 10 role. 45 caps Russian international, moved to Monaco for big money, around 27 million quid from CSK Moscow back in the summer 2018. He hasn't quite hit the heights that they've expected in the French Principality. However, he has just 16 goals and 22 assists from 114 games for Monaco to his name thus far. Incredibly exciting talent. It can be a real game changer on his day. It's clear that Monaco rate him very highly. They're demanding £39 million for someone who's only scored 16 goals in 140 games, according to a report from The Athletic. That's a serious amount of cash to someone who's only been involved in 38 goal involvements in the last 114 games. This one I cannot see. I mean, he is a workhorse. I do watch a bit of Ligue 1. He is a workhorse. 25, he's young. But 39 million quid. Can't see that happening. Who's Ryan? I'm Russ, but anyway. He looked good playing for Russia. Kovac in Monaco knew how to use it. Kovac, he did, Nico, and he rates this guy really. He rated this guy really highly. No, I wouldn't pay £39 million for him, to be honest. I could see the link because again, we're talking about maybe Jesse not coming in. Maybe he doesn't get a striker. Maybe get another attacking midfielder in to rotate. I've put it down as 3 because because you can see the thought process. You can see the thought process behind it. But I just think for the price, it's terribly, terribly expensive. Terribly expensive, Aleksandr Golovin. But let's move on. Let's stick to Ligue 1. Let's stick to Ligue 1. We've got one more player from Ligue 1, and it's one that we've been mentioned. Still mentioned it on his weekly the other day. Hugo Ekitike. Hugo, Big Hugues. Apparently, we have reportedly submitted an offer for the Stade Rennes striker. We're latecomers to the pursuit. Newcastle a little bit ahead of us. They got in quite early. They started their discussions early doors. However, the Irons are believed to be willing to loan him back to the Ligue 1 club should a deal be completed in January. So we'll buy him and loan him back. That's what's been discussed according to the French outlet Le Sport. Probably 10 Sport. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Le 10 Sport. The report claims that the East London club are actively hunting options in France and would like to sign the twice-capped French under-20 starlet this season. He's been touted as the next Mbappe. Well, we know our bloody Nathan. He stopped Mbappe, so there we go. He scored 8 times and 4 assists in 19 appearances across all competitions. So this is what I mean about there's definitely 2 levels at the moment with our transfers. There's ones which are first teamers and there's ones which are the future. Now this guy, if we're going to spend money and then we're going to loan him back, then that to me is a bit. I can't see that. This would be. I could see this one happening if it did happen at the end of the transfer window. I put 2.5 because I'm not an idiot, because he's 19, and it's the type of thing that you could see. With Rob Newman, these are the type of people and players that he's going to be putting under Davy Moyes' nose. So I could see anything happening here. What we got here? Hello, also. Oh, bonjour, ça va, Anton? Tout le monde, fermez les bouches. Any news on Yama? Any legs? I don't think. I think they're coming quite early doors, surely. I think, but it's the same with everyone. I think, Howard. I think the whole COVID thing has really turned this transfer window on its head. No one's buying players until they bought no one's selling players until they bought players in. But that selling club isn't going to sell anyone until they put someone in, because COVID turns up and you need players. If we had an outbreak of 3 or 4 players, we still have more than 13 to be able to play the game, because we're not Man United or Liverpool or Arsenal, can moan about it. We'll be playing the game. So Yarn would end up playing. So I can't see anything happening. Here, kitty indeed. There's a lot of one-season wonders about. Certainly are, my friend. Not sure about this one. Rem are not a good team. They're not a good team, but he's a youngster, isn't he? So he's got ways to... very good point. One-season wonder could get us into the Champions League. Evening out here well. So could Messi next year, maybe. Oui, ça va. Ah, oui, ça va. Oui, ça va, merci. Ah, formidable. Mais oui. Fermez la bouche. Tout le monde. And all that jazz. All these rumours are pointless when the player signs on the dotted line. He's a hammer. Not just that, Steve. It's not even signing on the line now. We don't believe anything until you get the social media video from the club turns up. That's when you know. Transfers seem to get delayed because they're producing the video. Isn't that wrong nowadays? But it seems true. That's what we don't say these are true. All we do is reporting them to you because someone said them, a news outlet, a journalist has said them. We know most of these, 99% of these are absolute, BS. But that's why we do it. So you don't have to wade through the BS. We do it for you. We spend hours going through the websites, finding all these tidbits of rubbish to give to you guys, so you don't have to do it. You're welcome. Hit the like button to say thank you. Johnson, Fabs, Nobes, Bonner, Fredericks, all expiring in summer. Can you see any of them going for cheap this window? No, I can't see him going. Fabs apparently was signing. He's going to be signing a new contract. Johnson, we've got a 2 year. We have a 2 year deal to exercise in his contract extension anyway. That's not news. That's in the domain. Nobes, he's leaving. He's retiring. And saying, look, Bono, we're going to offer him a 1 year contract extension because he's got injured this season. Fredericks is the only one potentially. But I would probably keep him out, to be honest, at the moment. I think if we win the Prem, I think we can win the Prem in 5 years' time. Hazard, I love you. I love it. Mange 2, Russ, Mange 2, Rodney. One thing I've learned from the past and how these players score like mad is maybe we need to get them. Must see something in Massey. Probably just needs to relax. Just relax. That's what you got to do. Thumbs up indeed. Right, okay, let's move on. Let's get through all these and then we'll have a chat because, I want to show some heat maps. Another one, we've been linked to this guy before. We've spoken about him, Malang Sarr from Chelsea. Apparently, because I tell you, we get a lot of coverage in Foot Mercato. I tell you, apparently he's another one we've got a good chance of signing this transfer window. Earlier this week, the Hammers were eyeing up a move to sign the Chelsea ace. Football London reckons that the Blues boss could be willing to let him go and join the Hammers on loan in January transfer window. That's because Sarr moving to London Stadium could upset Chelsea's main rivals, Tottenham and Arsenal, in the race for the top 4. This is bollocks. I vote with Tom Clark about this. This is bollocks. We're in the top 4 race. As mentioned earlier, it's a tricky task. We're not too far behind Chelsea in the league. Exactly. This guy, he would do a good job. He's played with Zuma, so he can come straight in potentially as well. I think a loan deal would make sense. He needs to be playing regular football. I was listening to a thing on Talk Sports Day. Chelsea got something like 20-odd players, 20-something players on loan. And they've got 3 players, 3 Chelsea-owned players are top of the goal scoring charts in 3 Premier League clubs in 3 separate Premier League clubs. Obviously, Mason Mount at Chelsea. You've got Conor Gallagher at Crystal Palace, and you've got Borja at Southampton. It's mental. I could see it happening because I think for me, I could see this one happening. I really, really could because I think with Chelsea, Chelsea are, top of. Then, to be honest, the way I see it at the moment, the Premier League is you've got Chelsea, you've got Liverpool, and you've got City. That's league. That's the top league. Then you've got our league, which is weird to say with us, but you've got us, you've got Man United, Tottenham, and you've got someone else. So I could see them trying to, upset the apple cart a little bit, but because I can't see. I think our mini league is basically the European qualification mini league. The person that wins the league will go in our little mini league. Will be in the Champions League. Then second and third will be in the Europa League, and the loser will be in the conference. Not relegated, but that's the way I see it. So I can see as well having legs. There's a lot of hype around Sarr when Chelsea signed him. He looked decent against Spurs, but then so would Masuaku. He looked good against Chelsea, didn't he? Anyone see talks earlier in Wiltshire and Bent Convo about top 4? It's all about the Gooners, Spuds. No, man, never is, Steve. And I don't think there will be until We win on Sunday, and until we beat Man United next week. There we go. Then people will take us seriously, because then we've got, and that's what Moyes said today, yesterday on his post-match press conference. He was talking about what's the difference between this season and last season. And he went, well, last season we didn't believe we could get into Europe until around this time. We've started the season this year knowing we're already in Europe, and I want us to get those 2 extra points that we missed out last year to get in the Champions League. So we've got more self-belief and self-confidence. I don't care. I'd stay under the radar. Then come May the 20, whatever, and we're in the Champions League, or we're competing, and it's us and Man United, and Sky Sports are doing a split screen of us at Brighton away and Man United, whoever they're playing, and that's great. And then if the prize is minute. Oh, there we go. Sorry, just a text from some Governor B. There we go. Lovely to see. And so I'm all for it, man. Do we wait for it to come before our set piece plays improves? Well, I don't think Bonner will be back in that vein of form. So I think we need to start working without him. That's the way I see it, to be honest. Wheelchair seems to hate us. Collins absolutely fell over himself praising Yamato. God bless him, old Ginge. I had a good old chat with him actually. Yesterday. It was quite funny. He was yeah, because he turned up and he was in his civvies, and everyone else, all the ambassadors were in their suits, and they're like, "You're not on today." No, I'm doing Radio 5. So I think Jimmy got him up in the box or whatever. Bit of double bubble. Right, let's move on. Let's do this guy, Zagadou. He's already got a song. Zagadou, push pineapples around a tree. 21-year-old Frenchman is highly rated by West Ham. He has 6 months left in his contract at Dortmund, and they're in talks with him for a new deal. But Zagadou is being courted by several clubs, including West Ham, according to French sports daily L'Equipe, and Man United, apparently. Hammers are keeping a close watch on what happens with him at Dortmund regarding his contract. It remains to be seen whether we could make a daring move to sign him in January. So, it could make a daring move. I like Zagadou. He is mustard. But I put him as a free because we could even do a pre-contract, because we can offer that now, and potentially, and we're maybe 18 months ago, 2 years ago, I'd be like, no chance we could get someone like Zagadou in, but we're a different beast now. We are a different unit now. I think he's great. I think he's gravy, and I could see us. These are the types of signings we need. It's not about necessarily getting bodies in, but it's getting right bodies in. And someone like Zagadou would definitely improve that second spot. He can also play CDM as well. Could be a great signing. He could be brilliant. I think he's really good. Malang Sarr, Hickey, or any high level would be great on loan with an option to buy. In fact, yeah, it would be, I think. And though I can't see, I mean, Ake, I couldn't see 4 or 5 weeks ago, no chance. But now the way City have basically run away with the league, I can see Ake potential coming to us. But apparently AC Milan are after him as well. I haven't included that one, but apparently AC Milan are after him as well. Right, let's move on. We've got so much more, and then I want to show you some heat maps. Milenkovic. We've been linked for a long time. And apparently we are still getting in there. The Irons get a mention as they have made a bid in the summer, and they believe that he was very close to coming to East London in the summer. It was him or Zuma. It was like the hokey cokey, which one was in, which one was out, and we went for Zuma. For me, I think he's still very much on the radar. Atletico Madrid recently yesterday? They're looking at him now. A new report claims that the Spanish club are on the race to sign him and could challenge any potential new bid from West Ham if they decide to go with them again. I would really like. To be honest, I could see Milenkovic and Zuma. Those were Moyes' 2 top targets in the summer last year. If he got Milenkovic in now, the 2 of them together, that would be his wet dream, wouldn't it? I think he's a fantastic player, but I just What have I put? I put 4.5. Yeah, because I could see this one happening. He's a very good player, really good player. And he is going per I mean, he might. Apparently, we're looking at him again. So let's see what happens, man. Let's be Matty boy. Hope you well, my friend. Good to see you. Good to see you. Very good player. Rumour Zagadou reality gets him a Timmy Mallet. Once worked with Timmy Mallet. I'll tell you that one day. I'll tell you that story. I used to work for Timmy Mallet. A strange man. Yeah, great fun, but in a weird way. We'll just leave it at that. One day I'll get drunk and tell the stories. Right? It's not for this. It's not for this genre. Right. Let's move on. Let's move on to some more attacking players. Kostic, Filip Kostic. Us and Arsenal apparently have joined Inter Milan in the race to sign the Eintracht Frankfurt flyer, according to Calcio Mercato. This is what there is one London-based giant for whom Kostic looks simply tailor-made for. An old school, chalk on the boots, left-footed, left winger. The Serbian international would tick a lot of boxes as far as West Ham's concerned. Kostic has, after all, produced 10 assists in just 22 games from his wing-back role at Frankfurt. He even scored a thumping long-range winner against Munich in October. The sort of angled, arrowed shot that Kostic has made his trademark during 8 years. 8 years, man. 8 years in Germany's top flight. Fair play to him. He's 29, though, which is a bit of in my opinion. However, the late blooming international is running out of time if he wants to make his mark at the very top of the European game. It feels somewhat unfortunate that one of Bundesliga's most prolific creative talents remains largely unknown on English soil. This could change, however, if, according to reports, his admirers are West Ham or Arsenal. So who would he replace? Would he come? I don't. It doesn't really play. We don't really play wing backs. If we do, it's using Masuaku. Could be an update. He's a great player, but I think depends how much he's going to cost. And will Eintracht Frankfurt let him go for cheap money? He's 29. Maybe they can. It's the last payday for them. Maybe good player in my opinion, but I'll put 2.5 because I'm not here. Good player. He's a good player. Why be interested in left winger? We have exactly, Ryan. Exactly. My point exactly. Someone's got sense. Right, let's move on. Next one. Stell mentioned him, Aaron Hickey, former he's not former Scottish, he's still Scottish. I don't read my writing sometimes. Scottish sensation. Lot of potential. I like Hickey, I must admit. And obviously when there was all the stuff with Digne coming in, he just seemed too far down the line. Digne, I think Hickey's the type of guy I could see Moyes getting his teeth into, if that makes sense. He's the Bolognian teenager who's set to be available, having been linked earlier with Aston Villa, but obviously Aston Villa because Gerrard wanted him when he was at Rangers. I think it was originally was at Hearts. Gerrard wanted him at Rangers, didn't get him, and then went to Villa. And the assumption was he was going to put another bid in for him, but obviously he got Digne. So Hickey, I can't see him going for Hickey now. He's featured in 30 Serie A games over the last 2 seasons, despite being 20 years old. Very impressive going forward this term with 4 goals already to his name. He could prove to be a long-term successor of his namesake, Aaron Cresswell. And given that he's been frequently in the Premier League, beating suitors to his signature will be massive. Hickey, I think, is a very good player. Yeah, true. Gio did a thing the other day and was very complimentary about him. And I could definitely see him, and, we haven't had a bad run with Scottish defenders, have we? Mr. Ray Stewart, friend of the channel, Christian Daly, Stephen Hendry, not so much so. Was it Stephen Hendry? No. Was it Stephen Hendry? Yeah, his name was Stephen Hendry, wasn't it? I think he's playing Southend now. But yeah, so Aaron Hickey, I could see that. A lot of potential. Yeah, a lot of potential there. Talented, seems to be, fair play, for the age of, what was he? Would have been 18, 19. I think Gio said he was the youngest ever player to have played in the, I think it was his third game, his fifth game. He played the Scottish Cup final. Crazy player. So he seems to have a real good, sensible head on him. And obviously, Moyes being Scottish helps as well. It will do, and fair play went to Bologna to prolong his to kickstart his career. From playing in the SBL to go and playing Serie A. Brilliant, a lot of potential there. Yet 16-year-old in that final, mental. Villa had their pants pulled down. Fit, yeah, exactly. We'll talk about that in a minute. Another defender who can't defend indeed. But I like Hickey. I think I could see this one. I put 2. No, I haven't. I put 4.5. There we go. Because I could see this one happening. I could, whether it's now, whether it's in the summer, but I could see this one happening because there's a lot of Moyesy MOT ticks, in my opinion. But then so too does this guy. If Kent's in the chat, Kent's a big fan of this guy, same as me. Lee Buchanan from Derby. Derby are absolutely in stuck financially, so you get yourself a bargain with a Derby player. And apparently, we're looking to make a move for the Derby County left back, according to Derbyshire Live. I'm sure we all subscribe to that. We're keen to bring a 20-year-old starlet to London Stadium. The report says he's eyeing up a January transfer move for the gentleman himself. Celtic allegedly want to sign him as well. It was little wonder because he's had a fantastic, he's a fantastic player. He's been brilliant for Derby this year. Left back by trade, but can also operate in the wing. 15 championship appearances this far, and very impressive stats. Energetic, dynamic, incredibly quick, plays with a real kind of enthusiasm that's typical of someone who's 20 years old, basically. He's out of contract in the summer, but Derby have the option to extend it by another 12 months. But because of administration, they're in a lot of financial trouble. They've been docked 21 points to start the season because of those issues. Rooney could sell him for just £2 million, according to The Sun. That sounds like incredible value for me, to be honest. We believe that he could really be similar to Hickey, you know what I mean? They're two very similar. They're both 20 as well. And £2 million seems an absolute steal. Absolute steal. Also with him, and there's Jason Knight as well, interested, the Derby midfielder. You can get yourself a good old. I've put 2 here, because I haven't. What's going on? I put another 4.5 here as well because I could see this one happening. For me, it's I think that you can really get yourself a bargain in the Championship, and we all love a bargain, and so does Moyes. And so I could see Lee Buchanan coming to us. I think it'd be really good as well. Really good. There's some really good Championship left backs as well. You've got Robinson at Fulham as well, who's obviously played in the Premier League. So let's I think he could be a good one for the future. The next one, another. Now you'll have no idea who this guy is. No idea who this guy is. His name is Bailey, his first name. His second name, you might understand who his dad is. How do you pronounce it? Cadamarteri. That's it, Cadamarteri. It's Danny Cadamarteri's son. Bailey Cadamarteri. Apparently, us and Brentford are reportedly keeping tabs on the Sheffield Wednesday talent who could leave the League One side in the coming months. According to the Sheffield Star, another publication I know we all follow all the news. He is a talented. The London clubs are keen on the teenage attacker who is regarded by Sheffield Wednesday as a talented prospect who can go all the way to the top. The son of former Everton attacker Danny Cadamarteri has had some sterling performances in the FA Youth Cup, which have alerted West Ham and Brentford. Per the report, though, Cadamarteri could slip through Sheffield Wednesday's fingers, given the forward can't sign the prospect. They can't sign the prospect on a professional deal until he turns 17. With Sheffield Wednesday, until he's 17, they can't do it. So they're undecided on whether to keep Cadamarteri beyond his current scholarship, which he's currently on. This has opened the door now for either West Ham or Brentford to sign the attacker this year. Moreover, with Cadamarteri turning 17, the Hammers and the West London side won't have too long before making a move to sign him on a professional deal. Poaching players from the Championship is hardly anything new. Yet, we are conducting themselves well in our pursuit, apparently, us and Brentford. After all, the forward is highly regarded by by Sheffield Wednesday. And with Cadamarteri now on West Ham and Brentford's radar, the youngster could join the academy of one of the top teams in the country very, very shortly. Who knows? One for the future, definitely. I could see. I mean, at the moment, again, another 3.5. This one, because I can see this one happening. Not one for now. 23 is for a couple of years. Yeah, definitely. It's not for now. So this one's one for the future. This is and I'm liking what they're doing at the moment. You know, there's some. You know, it's we did it in the summer as well. We got people like Okaflex, and we got Equine, and we got some of these players in, and that's great because it's improving that 23 squad, and that's then getting them. I mean, on the bench yesterday, you had Okaflex at Equine as well. You know, and that's great to see, and that's boosting that sort of lower tier, not lower tier. That's no disrespect to them, but that sort of upper under 23s. You know, that sort of the Venn diagram under 23s first teamers. That little bit. Which is increasing it. So it is Ashby, and you're getting these guys in. You're not spending a lot of money with them as well. And even if they don't make it, you're not paying loads of money in terms of a transfer fee, and you can make your money back on them. And you might get. I mean, I think Okaflex is well overdue a first team call up. Like a proper first team call up. I think he's mustard. Equine as well. He's that. At the moment with so many CDMs out, he could come. I mean, he's like a little Kante. He's brilliant. Stell loves him. It'll be another failed transfer winner. We'll see, Mark. We'll see. We live in hope. We're West Ham fans. We live in hope, my friend, don't we? As always. Right, next one. We've mentioned him before. Gabriel Barbosa. Now, apparently today. He was set for crunch talks with Flamengo, even his agent. And Dinesh, he was on Geo, he's on Hammer's chat this morning, earlier today. He was on Sky Sports today, saying the loan with obligation to buy at the end offer from West Ham is still on the table. Hasn't been taken off by him. He's set to tell Flamengo that he wants to leave the club and move to England. And obviously we're keen to sign the forward, apparently. Our offer was 18 months with the option of making the move permanent for 25 million. And it was, and I think there was a little bit of, how can you have an 18-month loan? We were paying a substantial loan fee on top of that. So he didn't expect it. I think it was about 5 or 6 million quid, which is a lot for a loan fee. That's what I think I was led to believe, that we were going to pay for the loan fee and then the 25 million at the end. But Barbosa's keen to leave the club, and he's set to meet with representatives today when he will make his desire to move to England clear. He's understood to want to move to the Premier League. It could help him cement the role as Brazilian's lead striker ahead of the World Cup. And Dinesh was saying the same thing. He was saying, he's set to start for Brazil in the World Cup. He's playing for Brazil. He's playing for Flamengo. He's scoring goals. He's called Gabigol, for God's sake. His name's got goal in it. He's done very well. I think he's scored 5 in 10 or 15 appearances for Brazil, something ridiculous like that. He doesn't have to move. He can just walk into the World Cup squad. But that's not up to. He's got unfinished business. He's going with a mission. I like this deal. The more I like it, honestly. I know someone will be like, no. If it's loan to buy, I'd have a go. I really would. I think I would. I would have a go. What have I given him? That's meant to be 3.5. I've given him 3.5. I've given him 3. I'll have a go. I've got a feeling that he's coming. He loves Moyes. He does love Moyes, apparently. So there we go. We are massive. Don't forget, we are massive everywhere we go. 50-50 on Barbosa, because part of me thinks is, but I don't know. I don't think so. I think he was. I'm just going to take it off the silly Russ ratings, because I think he was, because we were interested in him last time. Was it a couple of years ago, wasn't it? But this is I can see this being a Rob Newman name on the paper. I really could. And I mean, Mark's not up for it. I'm hoping it's all nonsense and people have jumped on an old story. I do have to admit that Barbosa, I mean, he knows where the back of the net is. I think Barbosa will fit into the way Moyes wants to play. I'm going to show you something, Victor, and I think you're right. Where is it? Where is it? I'm going to show you something, and this will hopefully. I think you're right, man. I think you're right. Okay, right. Add to stream. This, my friends, is Antonio's heat map of this season. He's all over the fucking place. He's our striker, and he's all over the fucking place. Now, we don't want a player that's going to be playing. Moyes has said he basically wants someone who can compete with Mickey and stuff like that. So he's got to fit into the right game. He's got to fit into the similar type of game that Antonio fits into, but maybe have a more clinical finish, for example. Now, if we look at Barbosa's, it's not 100% different. He's not a striker out and out, stuck in this middle spot, stuck in the goal area. He drifts out quite a lot, mainly on the right-hand side. Antonio, big bits on the right-hand side. Either side he goes, but you know what I mean? There's still some movement there. There's a lot of movement. Compare him to someone like Cabral. Cabral, very heavily in the box. Doesn't do a lot of drifting out. Very heavily in the box. So you can see if we're looking at the options, Barbosa has more of a, in my opinion, is more of a similar heat map. Again, this is subjective, but he has a very similar heat map to Barbosa. If we compare that to Yarmolenko, see, we don't just give you the fact. We try and deep. I can see this. I can see him fitting into the just the way that Moyes plays. Right, let's see what else we got. So let's move on. There's this guy, Danny Formin. We all know Danny Formin. Apparently, we've added the Dynamo midfielder to our list of January January transfers, according to reports in Russia. This guy's we're never gonna get this bloke. Last season, he scored 7 goals in 32 games. He's reached the same tally already within 19 games. So he's having a real good season. According to Sport Express, West Ham are eyeing him. He's a defensive midfielder. No, we're not getting this guy. Oh, no. Anyway, ignore that. Last one, and it's literally hot off the press. I was literally just about to put it live, and I had to put this guy because I've just noticed he's popped in. Danilo. According to Lance, there's a bloke called Lance, or there's a news outlet called Lance. West Ham are preparing a bid for the Palmeiras midfielder Danilo, a player who is also on the radar of Arsenal. Talk of West Ham renting a bid comes after Exportes claimed Arsenal submitted an offer of 20 million or 21 million quid for the man from Palmeiras. They believe that Palmeiras are preparing to sell him as they look to balance the sheets. It's also said that Arsenal are willing to up their offer by 4 million quid if the Brazilian giants reject their initial bid. By the sounds of it, the Gunners and West Ham will need to pay a bit more than a sum of 25 million quid for this guy. He's got a release clause of 83 million quid, so a snip, which runs out in June 2025. 83 million quid seems a lot for a man who's 20, but the Premier League jury clearly sees something special in the South American wonder kid. He's able to play in a defensive midfield role, as well as a central midfield role, or even further forward in the number 10 role. This is Moyes' wet dream, isn't it? The versatility will surely attract David Moyes and Arteta, although they shouldn't expect many goal involvements from him. So far in his short career, Danilo has scored 5 goals in 83 appearances while providing 5 assists. Absolute bullshit. What's going on with that? 1.5. No. Right. I wanted to put this little slide together. So we've gone for the back. Now, we're talking about halfway through the season, right? I've had to change it as well because so these are all the ins for the Premier League. For the Premier League from January the 1st, right? Not including people like obviously we signed Marshall from Linfield, not including those. The ones that basically get reported on the BBC website. This is it. And we're worrying that we haven't signed anyone, right? We've got Aston Villa have spent 25 million quid on Digne and Coutinho. That's great. Well done. They're not in our league. They are not in our league. Brighton have signed Kolosov. Key for an undisclosed fee and then loaned him to someone else. Everton have signed Patterson for £10 million, Mykolenko beginning in 1st of January, and as you can see, I've very cleverly put El Ghazi on loan because they've signed El Ghazi on loan. They're not in our league. Chris Woods, Trippier, 37 million pound players, who are both over 30. They're going down. Watford, they bought 3 players in. Samri, I actually quite like as a player. Kamate for £4 million. Kamembe as well. They're in the bottom of the league, bottom of the table. And Wolves have signed Kawambe, and they've loaded him back to the same club. So in our league, you've got, maybe Wolves could technically be in our league, so to speak. They signed someone and then basically sent him back to the club they signed him from. Arsenal haven't signed one. Man United haven't signed anyone. We haven't signed anyone. Tottenham haven't signed anyone. Chelsea haven't signed anyone. Man United haven't signed. Man City haven't signed anyone. Liverpool haven't signed anyone. No one else has signed any team. Only 6 teams in all 20 teams in the Premier League have signed someone. So it's not as bad as we think it is. Yes, we have, and so we've got plenty. There's plenty of time. We've got plenty of time to not sign anyone. Plenty of time to get some signings in. So it's not doom and gloom at all. Aren't Paris a top team? They are at the moment. Why does Moyes always give Yarmolenko game time? I don't know. That's far too much coverage for Yarma. His heat map is a straight line on the pitch. It's like Kralls is just literally on the subs bench. What we got here? Barbosa's heat map looks more like a right wing. Well, Antonio's a right winger, really. He's all over the bloody place. Barbosa could go central if he wants to, indeed, but heat map because he doesn't work hard. Maybe, or maybe he's that's his mantra. He's more mobile than I think people let out. I mean, Cabral, people looking at Cabral as an option for us. He's very much central, and that wouldn't suit our play. It's a different type of play. I really don't fancy Barbosa, but after thinking about it, when we did last have a regular in our international, yes, a regular. Yeah, Anderson did play a little bit. Bring on Okaflex. Indeed, he sounds like the Brazilian Jonathan Spector. Oh, could you imagine? Oh, my dreams would come into play as long as he just played that one game against Man United. Can't believe we're 4th. Indeed, Cortina's a steal for if it works out. If it works out, but again, we're not competing with Villa, are we? Was misleading. Half the time he's drifting in from the sideline. Moyes has said deals will be done in the last week. I think. If you read his press conference, he was saying today, have I got it here? Let's have a look. Have I got it? I might still have it, actually. Let me find it. Reinforcements. Add to stream. So this is what Moyes said yesterday after the game. We've been trying to get someone in who so can give us competition for Mick for 2 years. It's not an easy thing to do, buying a centre forward. The club has probably bought in more centre forwards than anyone, many of them expensive, and it's been hard to get them to work. I want to bring players in. I want to add to it, but I'm not going to do it for the sake of it. And I'm not going to do it because the transfer window is pushed heavily by the media. Supporters want new players, and when we get the chance, we'll do so. But I think I'd rather not waste the club's money if I don't think that there was something out there, but I'm hoping to do business. I'd have liked to do it earlier, but maybe come the end of the window, there might be some news. Little Easter egg. Thank you, David Moyes. I don't think there's been an awful lot of transfer activity out there. We know that. I've just shown everyone. Maybe 1 or 2 clubs have done bits, but I'm not seeing huge moves going on at this present time. And that's the thing. And that is the thing. It's huge moves at the present time. So that's what I think. So yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a lot of, and don't forget if realistically we look at it. So if we got anyone, they couldn't play in time for Leeds anyway. We've got a week and then we've got Man United, and then we've got basically 2 weeks off, really. And then we've got Kidderminster in the cup. So we've actually got a bit of a winter break, really, where you can get, that's when I think we'll see a lot of activity for us, or we'll see our activity because he's got all the games out the way. for January, in essence. And then I can see that happening. We'll be relegated, just a matter of who's the third. Newcastle, hopefully. Chris, hope you're well. Time back in Fenwa. Went straight down the tunnel at full time. Apparently, yes, what you said. Make me want to heat up, man. I love it. What you gonna go hate it? What? Okay, bro. Cross, I think you had a few too many beers, but I love you. Sell Salah to buy Bowen. Don't think so. He's not going anywhere. Skillful, but I can see him fitting well with the players we have. Create a lot of goals. He does. I think he would do. Chris was leaving his Burley's record departure. Indeed, why would they let him go on loan with a 30 million option? How does it? It doesn't benefit them, George. But it might be that they can. That's why I think that there's negotiation. I wouldn't say an 18-month loan deal, maybe a 6-month loan deal. Then when the Brazilian league starts again, potentially, I don't know. But for me, as I said, looking at those heat maps again, let's take the Yarmolenko one out again. As I said, that's Antonio. And actually, another interesting thing is because there was lots of talk about Traore and people like that going. Where's Bowen? Look at so that's Bowen's heat map. Obviously heavily on the right hand side, but there's a lot of there's more action going on in that central spot than there was before. For me, I could see Bowen being our second striker, and they're bringing in more attacking midfielders to cover that right hand side. In essence, you've got a three who can play in two positions of Antonio, Bowen, and maybe Traore or someone like that. And then, rather than an out-and-out striker, I don't know, it's just another option. You can see, as I said, you got what was it? Lanzini. I mean, anyone who saw it, that's Lanzini's heat map. So you can see he's been playing a lot of all over the place. He's playing all over the place at the moment. I find these heat maps absolutely fascinating. Bowen, as I said, 4 nails on the left-hand side, as you would imagine. Rice, left or right, defense or attack. Souček all over the bloody place, like proper box to box, massive heat spots in our defensive, which is the left-hand side where his name is, and massive, and big heat spots in the central spot in the attacking half as well. Noble is Yarmolenko, yeah, exactly. But as I said, Antonio all over the bloody place. Barbosa slightly, spread out for that sort of left striker position, and Cabral, very much in that sort of in that 6-yard box, really, in that 6-yard box. Just thought you find him quite interesting. There we go. His madness, his heat map is. I was reading anything about Belotti today as well. Apparently we're looking at him as well. I think, but again, 29. Would we get? I don't know. No one knows really, do we? And until that social media post has been on the West Ham Twitter feed, we don't really know. But we live and learn, and we wait and see what happens. As I said, if you enjoyed it, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. In terms of what's going on for the rest of the week, tomorrow, Anton should be around for the David Moyes press conference for the Dirty Leeds game on Sunday. Stell might turn up and do a show. Who knows? He's got some ideas. He's got some ideas. He might do a late show. Who knows? Maybe I've just got him something to do. And then we'll be back for Anton will be around for the watch along on the Sunday for Dirty Leeds. And then we have a bit of not a break, but then obviously we've only got one game next week. What are we going to do? We'll do some quizzes. We're trying to get we've got some good celebrity interviews hopefully coming up in the next week as well. Hopefully get Governor B on as well. Obviously with he literally just texted me. Oh, how exciting! I've got his digits. So we'll get him on the show, have a good old chat with him about his single and why he's a West Ham fan, all that type of stuff, and some ex-player stuff. We'll have some game shows, all that type of good stuff, and all the transfer news as always. If you enjoy it, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe, maybe become a member. Maybe if you want, hit the bell icon down there and hit the join button if you fancy it. I think Barbosa is a smokescreen. I think Moyes will keep his close. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. fair play, mate. Probably would be a kidnapping attempt to land. Indeed, very similar to Tevez and Mascherano. Do you remember they turned up and they were like paraded outside of that Upton Park, and they'd just been like taken out of a blacked out, minibus. What's this? This is Buenos Aires. Yeah, bless them. As I said, we'd like to thank all our channel sponsors, our channel partners, everyone watching, all subscribers, anyone who watches it, anyone who hates it but still watches it. Thank you. Anyone who likes it, comments, shares it, all that good stuff. We appreciate every single one of you. And also at the end of what I like to actually, I thought this was we've got the I haven't done my little transfer. Where's my transfer trailer? Where is it? Oh, hang on. I always do this at the end of each show. Where is it? Of all the funny ones, go check on my Twitter. I did a really good thing on my Twitter. I was very happy. Where I basically went through and did, we didn't start the fire, but with all of our transfer rumours. I called it, we didn't start the rumours. Hilarious. Very good. It's on my Twitter. Please like and share it because I was very proud of it. It took me about 20 minutes to having to go with like, I can't even do it now. Adebayo, Masamea, and Toddy Campbell. It's very good. But look, this is just shows the ridiculousness of how many players we've been linked with. Sweet Caroline. Ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, take care, everyone. Stay safe. Wash those hands. Get those jab appointments. Come on, you irons. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Maybe in tomorrow. Who knows? You lucky people. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.
It's like a family tree.